Looking back, 2025 has seen quite a number of things happening everywhere around the world. At Hong Kong Disneyland, the 20th anniversary event, the most magical party of all, kicks off in June 2025 and will keep running until June next year. It features a number of new entertainment offerings, such as a new parade, a new castle show, and a temporary drone addition to the momentous nighttime spectacular. It was supposed to be a big event to celebrate everything that shaped Hong Kong Disneyland to its success today. Unfortunately, not every fan-favorite attraction was available during the celebration. In fact, there were a number of attractions that used to exist in Hong Kong Disneyland but were removed in favor of new additions over the years. While not a complete disappointment, I do wonder if more could have been done to pay tribute to these former attractions, apart from just small references of them within merchandise products, especially when this is the 20th anniversary of Hong Kong Disneyland. In the same year, the magic has brought me back to Disneyland Paris, 6 years after my first visit to Disney's only theme park resort in Europe. I really love this place because not only is it bigger and features 2 parks with significantly more attractions, but additionally, some attractions and experiences Hong Kong Disneyland removed can still be found here. As this year was Hong Kong Disneyland's 20th anniversary year, there is no better timing than now to talk about just how much from Hong Kong Disneyland's old days Disneyland Paris has sort of preserved, which really brought back a lot of fond memories. So before we step into 2026, which is looking to be a big year for the Parisian resort, let's count down the top 7 defunct Hong Kong Disneyland attractions you can still find at Disneyland Paris. Number 7. Tarzan's Treehouse, a walk-through attraction where you can walk around a treehouse themed to Disney's Tarzan film in 1999. See aerial views of Hong Kong Disneyland from the treehouse, and encounter some interactive elements along the journey. In order to reach Tarzan's treehouse, you have to ride log rafts across the rivers of adventure to Tarzan's Island in the heart of Adventureland. However, since February this year, both the rafts to Tarzan's treehouse, as well as the treehouse itself, have been temporarily suspended due to operational adjustments until further notice. Before the grand opening of Hong Kong Disneyland, the first version of Tarzan's Treehouse, which was located at the original Disneyland in Anaheim, California, served as a successor to another treehouse in Adventureland. The predecessor was called Swiss Family Treehouse, based on Disney's 1960 feature film, Swiss Family Robinson. California's Tarzan's Treehouse eventually closed in 2021 and became Adventureland Treehouse in 2023. Meanwhile, Swiss Family Treehouse is still operating at Magic Kingdom and Disneyland Paris. Noticeably, one of the corners in Paris version looks extremely similar to Tarzan's Treehouse at Hong Kong Disneyland, and you can hear the song Swiss Polka playing at some point of both treehouses. The biggest difference here is that in Paris, guests don't have to ride the ramps to reach the treehouse, but instead just simply walk right in. The treehouse at Disneyland Paris also remains open at night until park closing time, while Hong Kong Disneyland would close the entire island and the ramps early during the sunset, similar to Tom Sawyer Island in the other castle parks. Number 6. Orbitron, Hong Kong Disneyland's second aerial carousel ride after Dumbo, where you climb aboard flying saucers and spin around planets and enjoy aerial views of Tomorrowland. This attraction has been temporarily suspended since February 2025 due to operational adjustments until further notice. The celestial structures on the upper section of the ride were removed in September, and the last time Orbitron was seen working was during the 10K weekend running event this year, but only Stitch and Angel got to ride on it. Unless an official reopening date is suddenly announced, I will assume that these attractions quietly closed forever. So if you would like to ride this attraction again, you can actually go to Disneyland Paris to do so, as Orbitron is also available in Disneyland Park. And this is a better version as it takes inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci's visionary drawings of the solar system. Instead of being just a generic spinner ride, the connection to Discoveries fits the theme of Discoveryland, which is Disneyland Paris' equivalent of Tomorrowland, themed to French novelist Jules Verne. Number 5. The Sword in Stone, a mythical sword from the Disney film of the same name released in 1963. A replica of the Sword in the Stone used to be in front of the Cinderella Carousel since Hong Kong Disneyland opened, allowing guests to test their strengths and see if they can pull out the sword. In 2023, the Sword in the Stone was removed permanently to make way for Hong Kong Disneyland's very own Walt Disney statue, known as Dreammakers. At Disneyland Paris, a nearly identical replica of the Sword in the Stone can still be found. But unlike Hong Kong Disneyland's version, which was located in front of the carousel, this version is located at the center of the castle courtyard behind Paris' version of Sleeping Beauty Castle. Meanwhile, the Walt Disney statue at Disneyland Paris is the partner statue, but instead of Disneyland Park, it is located at the second gate, Walt Disney Studios Park, since its opening in 2002. Originally, the statue was facing towards Studio 1, an indoor main street and gateway connecting the park with the entrance. But with the second gate soon to be renamed Disney Adventure World, a large-scale overhaul of the area was carried out, and the partner's statue was slightly moved closer to Studio 1, now renamed World Premiere, with Walt and Mickey now facing the upcoming Adventure Way and World of Frozen. Number 4. Stitch Encounter, an interactive show utilizing the real-time animation and digital puppetry, where you can interact with Stitch. Hong Kong Disneyland debuted the first edition of the show in 2006, located next to the entrance of Space Mountain in Tomorrowland. Stitch Encounter closed in 2016 to make way for Star Wars Command Post, an indoor meet and greet area for Star Wars characters. The Command Post eventually closed in May 2021, and the area remained empty till this date with no official replacement, aside from a temporary e-store redemption center in 2023. Stitch Encounter was brought back for a special occasion during the Magic SS Members Summer Party in June 2019. At that time, it was located at the Pavilion, the indoor space situated between Adventureland and Grizzly Gulch, most well known for the location of House of the Villains. After that, Stitch Encounter has not been seen operating at Hong Kong Disneyland again. However, at Disneyland Paris, you can still experience this attraction at Walt Disney Studios Park, aka Disney Adventure World. Set within one of the theaters along World Premiere Plaza, Stitch Encounter is called Stitch Live in Paris. Unlike Hong Kong Disneyland, this version features a pre-show which briefs you on the story of Lilo and Stitch, and what would happen during the experience. Since Disneyland Paris version of Stitch Encounter prohibited photos and videos during the show, I can only use the footage recorded at Hong Kong Disneyland right here. The main attraction itself, as I experienced, was pretty similar to what was in Hong Kong Disneyland. There are also some new scenes which I've never encountered in Hong Kong Disneyland before, and this version seems to feature better animation and lighting effects. Number 3. Autopia, a racetrack attraction where guests of all ages could drive a car along a designated track through lush jungles and alien landscapes. In 2016, Autopia was temporarily suspended for unknown reasons, and Hong Kong Disneyland removed all traces of the attraction from the park map the day after its closure. In the same year, it was announced that a new Marvel ride themed to Avengers is going to be built at Autopia's location as part of Star Expo's expansion into Tomorrowland, indicating its permanent closure. Demolition for Autopia's long-abandoned queue did not happen until 2019, and the land still remained empty with no construction for many years. It was by 2024 when we realized that the Avengers attraction was changed to a Tower of Terror style Spider-Man attraction from a concept art released during D23. According to aerial photos from Google, construction for the Marvel attraction began in July when the land was covered with dirt. Other sources reported multiple cranes being spotted at the site as time went by. On the 12th of September, the official birthday for Hong Kong Disneyland, the exterior of the revised attraction was finally revealed. Instead of Spider-Man, the attraction is now an Avengers drop tower. It will feature multiple heroes alongside Spider-Man, protecting guests from falling into different locations throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As much as I am excited for this attraction, I can't help but still feel sad about losing Autopia in order to get something new, and construction for the new ride seems to be going pretty slow, so it will probably take years to actually be able to experience it. Meanwhile, at Disneyland Paris, Autopia still exists in Discoveryland alongside other classic Tomorrowland attractions Hong Kong Disneyland removed. At the same time, guests can also choose to park hop over to Walt Disney Studios Park, Disney Adventure World, to ride Tower of Terror in its original Hollywood Tower Hotel format, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Furthermore, Marvel characters have their own separate area in the park, Avengers Campus, without having to take over Tower of Terror or the Discoveryland attractions at Disneyland Park. Number 2. Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, an interactive shooting dark ride themed to Buzz Lightyear and inspired by the Toy Story franchise. Along the journey, riders shoot targets from a spinning space cruiser and earn points while trying to defend the galaxy from the evil Emperor Zurg. In 2017, Hong Kong Disneyland's Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters became the first Buzz Lightyear attraction in the world to close down in order to make way for another attraction as part of Star Expo's expansion in Tomorrowland. Opening in 2019, the successor is now known as Ant-Man and the Wasp Nano Battle. It is also a shooting dark ride similar to Buzz Lightyear, but it is now themed to Ant-Man and the Wasp and the MCU. One big difference between this ride and its predecessor is that it relies more on screens than physical sets. In Disneyland Paris, Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is still operating under the name Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast, where the overall ride experience, including most of the physical sets, still remains the same to the version at Hong Kong Disneyland. Meanwhile, in the second park, you can also ride some form of screen-based Marvel shooting dark ride in Avengers Campus. But instead of Ant-Man, the Marvel ride in Paris is themed to Spider-Man, known as Spider-Man Web Adventure, or Web Slingers for those who rode it at Disney California Adventure. The attraction features a different ride system from Buzz Lightyear and Ant-Man, as motion detectors are installed within the ride vehicles to sense which exact point riders are shooting. Not exactly the same as Naval Battle where riders hold blasters to shoot targets, but it is still fair to say that it is some kind of Marvel shooting dark ride like what Hong Kong Disneyland currently features. Number 1. Sleeping Beauty Castle. A fairy tale castle themed to Sleeping Beauty, and the main centerpiece of Hong Kong Disneyland from its opening in 2005 to 2018 when the castle transformation began. The old castle stood at 77 feet tall and was an identical copy of the same castle at the original Disneyland in Anaheim, California, which opened in 1955, 50 years before Hong Kong Disneyland. In early 2018, Hong Kong Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty Castle closed permanently and was transformed into Castle of Magical Dreams as part of the park's 15th anniversary. The new castle stands at 167 feet tall and pays tribute to 13 Disney princess stories, including the queens from Frozen. Castle of Magical Dreams is undeniably a marvelous achievement for Hong Kong Disneyland, as it is the very first and only castle to date to have undergone such a remarkable transformation since its opening in any of the castle parks. There are still some references in the new castle which pay tribute to the old one, such as the 3 good fairies, as well as Princess Aurora herself appearing alongside other princesses. However, it is still a bit of a bummer that parts of the old castle, especially the backside, had to be sacrificed to give this park a new and unique icon for it to stand out from the others. Fortunately, this part of the former castle can still be found in Paris, because Disneyland Paris also features a Sleeping Beauty castle. Although it is not exactly the same castle, it is still themed to Sleeping Beauty. Opened alongside Disneyland Park in 1992, Euro Disneyland at that time, this castle is a continuation of the first Sleeping Beauty castle at the original Disneyland in California. This castle also stands at 167 feet tall, the same height as Hong Kong Disneyland's Castle of Magical Dreams and Tokyo Disneyland's Cinderella Castle. It features 2 walkthrough areas, an underground dungeon in the base featuring an audio animatronic dragon, and above, a concrete balcony walkthrough with stained glass windows and tapestries telling the story of Sleeping Beauty. As you can see, despite the castle looking very different, its backside still looks pretty similar to the backside of Sleeping Beauty Castle at Hong Kong Disneyland. The Sleeping Beauty statue featuring Princess Aurora and Prince Philip was removed during the castle transformation. A replica of the statue can also be found in Paris as part of the Sleeping Beauty walkthrough at the upper level of the castle. Before the transformation, Hong Kong Disneyland's castle did not include any walkthrough attractions, and its upper level was closed to park guests. Nowadays, the upper level for Castle of Magical Dreams still remains out of reach for park guests. But at Disneyland Paris, there are 2 walkthroughs inside the castle, one that allows guests, and occasionally characters, to walk their way up to the balcony for a stunning view of Fantasyland. In addition to the inspirations from Mont Saint-Michel and French culture, as well as Walt Disney's own designs for the Sleeping Beauty film in 1959, Disneyland Paris' Sleeping Beauty Castle is generally considered by many fans as the best Disney castle in the world. The fact it is also a variant of Hong Kong Disneyland's old castle with the same height of Hong Kong Disneyland's new castle only makes me love this park even more. So there you have it. These are the top 7 defunct Hong Kong Disneyland attractions you can still find at Disneyland Paris. When you look closely, you will notice that there are many things Disneyland Paris and Hong Kong Disneyland have in common with each other. It's not only these attractions I've just mentioned. In fact, some of the later additions in Hong Kong Disneyland can also be found in France, Toy Story Land, some form of Marvel Land, and even the upcoming world of Frozen. Disneyland Paris has created a scenario of how both old and new Hong Kong Disneyland attractions could coexist in the same resort. This satisfies different generations of guests, as you don't need to sacrifice a beloved and nostalgic attraction in order to get something new, and you can choose to do one or even both of them. Hong Kong Disneyland, on the other hand, has been plagued by its small size and poor planning ever since the park opened 20 years ago, as Disney originally intended it to be just a budget theme park. It is clear when Iron Man Experience was about to open, Hong Kong Disneyland was beginning to run out of space, and old attractions had to close in order to make way for new experiences. This resulted in the sacrifice of many attractions in Tomorrowland, including Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, Autopia, and Stitch Encounter, etc. These attractions can still be found at Disneyland Paris, and there is no need to replace them for expansion, as there is still a lot of land available in both parks. Of course, Avengers Campus did replace some old attractions too. This includes Rock 'n' Roller Coaster being replaced by Avengers Assemble Flight Force, but it still comes at a lower expense than the Tomorrowland attractions at Hong Kong Disneyland. And let's be honest, that backlot area was a bit of a mess when I first visited in 2019, and Avengers Campus, regardless how you might think about it, is a huge improvement to what was there before. It's not perfect, I would admit, but it provides a great lineup of characters and entertainment throughout the year, which really suits me as I really like Marvel characters. Small size is indeed a problem Hong Kong Disneyland can never fix, but I still hope they could do better in the future, because if I have to be honest, Hong Kong Disneyland is not good enough lately. The attractions that were temporarily suspended since February 2025 until further notice still have not reopened by now. And throughout 2025, this park focused too much on Duffy and Friends, and forgot about the importance of classic characters, most notably Mickey Mouse. It's totally obvious why only Duffy and Friends got new Christmas outfits, while Mickey and Minnie have their normal outfits or just the former Christmas outfits for over 4 years. How is that fair? Unfortunately, this problem is unlikely going to end anytime soon, as Duffy and Friends Playdays, in my opinion, the worst seasonal event, is returning next year, and I'm not looking forward to it. Rumors even pointed out a potential Duffy ride or land in development, which might result in the sacrifice of another existing attraction. I definitely hope not, because I've had enough of Duffy and Friends already. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad to see Hong Kong Disneyland earning a profit again this year and attracting more visitors over time. But I really hope they would not lean too much on just making money, but give a little more care on their operations, classic characters and attractions, and the general guest experience. Not everyone likes stuffy, and they should try doing more different things throughout the year to continue attracting new visitors. Disneyland Paris managed to win my heart for not only opening new and different attractions each year, but also keeping many of these nostalgic attractions operating even after so many years. I hope Hong Kong Disneyland could learn from Disneyland Paris and strike a balance between the classic stuff and new experiences. Disneyland Paris' second theme park is getting rebranded to Disney Adventure World in late March 2026, which includes the debut of Paris' World of Frozen and a new nighttime spectacular in Adventure Bay. All these exciting additions are already making me look forward to visiting them again next year. The Parisian Resort is just unstoppable when it comes to all these incredible experiences. But what do you think? What are your thoughts about Hong Kong Disneyland and Disneyland Paris in 2025? What do you expect the most from both resorts in the coming year? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, remember to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and follow the channel on Instagram for more updates. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year!